Kuck here at Kuck, Baxter Immigration. Great to be with you today. I wanted to talk today about what Congress is doing, because we've all heard about Plan A, which was everything in the kitchen sink. Plan B, which was slightly less, some sort of change in the registry date, and Plan C. There's no Plan C. Nobody knew what Plan C was. Well, Plan C has apparently now been presented to the parliamentarian, who is an employee of the Senate, who simply advises the leader of the Senate, who is the vice president of the United States, whether something could be appropriately put in to a reconciliation bill. So her opinion is not binding on anybody. They can make it binding if they want to, but they can also object to it, which I hope the Democrats have the spine to do. So let's talk about what we understand to be in the plan. First, the Plan C is taking DACA, as is currently written, expanding it slightly, and turning it into federal law. Now, that's a good thing, because right now it's subject to the whims of court. It's also very old. Basically, I think this year, 2022, within the next 6 months, the last of the DACA eligible people will be eligible. So as of June 13th, children who were 1 day old and came into the country can now apply for DACA. So basically, there may be a handful of people left, let's say 1,500 people left, that could apply for DACA as a new DACA recipient under the 2012 law, which required that you have been here from 2007. So that's 15 years ago, right? So you can apply when you're 15. So the first people can now apply. There might be others out there too, but they're in the pool that would have existed anyway. So the last eligible DACA people that were the newly acquired DACA eligibility are June 11th, June 12th, 2022. So turning it into the law. First, I'm just going to move the date forward, I think, to 2012, might be 2010, but it could be 2012, which would cover a lot more people. Because again, we didn't have a huge amount of undocumented immigration from 2012 until like 2019. There really wasn't that many people that came in. So it would cover most kids that were here. It would also provide permanency. It would be a legal status in the United States as opposed to as a whimsical idea. So it would be good. And if you got status, then you can adjust your status. You get a green card through employment, through spouse, through kids, etc. The next thing that I understand that Plan C does is it expands parole in place. Could be wrong about this, but I understand. Expands parole in place from what is currently parents and spouses of military personnel, whether in the armed forces or the reserves or the National Guard, to everybody. Basically, anybody's got a qualifying U.S. relative. So you have a child over 21, you got a spouse, you can do a parole in place. Again, in the law, as opposed to policy. And that basically would be a legalization. It may be discretionary on a case-by-case basis, but basically that could legalize 5, 6, 7 million people. So that I heard could be in there. And the last thing that I heard that could be in the Plan C is still kind of a movement of the registry date, still kind of a different way, well, not as late, right? So that's what I've heard. So what does this mean? Will the parliamentarian give a thumbs up or thumbs down? Last time I did this, by the way, like 3 weeks ago, I don't know what the parliamentarian is going to do, and literally during our lives, she ruled against it. So she apparently has been out for cancer treatment. I mean, condolences. I hope she recovers quickly as a fellow cancer survivor. I hope she gets over whatever this is quickly and successfully. But she's supposed to be back at work now. So we'll see if they rule on this relatively quickly. But here's the ultimate solution. Now, there was something that was reported yesterday, and it was reported accurately, but the quote was wrong. So here, by the way, is something, just so you know, this could work. It's 50-50, of course, in the Senate, and which means Vice President Harris presides. Vice President Harris comes in, there's a reconciliation bill there, and somebody makes a motion or asks the Vice President to ignore or to overrule, as the chair, which she's legally allowed to do under their rules, overrule the parliamentarian. She overrules the parliamentarian. Then somebody makes a motion, and then that's it. Immigration's back in. It's just that simple, right? And somebody makes a motion, say, I move to overturn your ruling. Perfectly fine to do that. But to overturn a ruling of the chair requires 60 votes, not 51. And the Democrats got at least 43 votes to sustain the chair. So this is the back door. Now, I've talked previously about the lack of a spine and a backbone for our friends, the Democrats. And Amazon's all out. You can't get one. But in conversations that I've had with folks over the last week or so, that could be the solution. But again, I don't want anybody hopes up because I don't believe they're going to do it. I've been doing this a long time. Look at all this gray hair. I've been doing this a long time. I was around the last two times they fixed, last three times, I guess, that they fixed immigration. The amnesty of 86, which was Republican-led amnesty, by the way. Act 90, which was the last time we changed our legal immigration system, family-based, employment-based, diversity lottery. That was 1990, Republican-led, George H.W. Bush. And 1996, when we put all these terrible laws into place that are screwing the whole system up. IRA, Republican-led, Democrat signed. All right, so Democrats they've been coming along for the ride the last three times, and now they get to drive the train. And I don't feel like the train's going in the right direction. And I've told my elected representatives that I meet with that and said, look, you guys are not doing what you need to do. You think that that if you don't fix immigration, you're still going to get reelected, and you're not. You're listening to the 30% of people that hate immigrants, and the 70% in both parties that support them are going to look at you and go, you had a chance to fix this, and you let the tail wag the dog? Screw you and the horse you rode in on. You're out of here. So I personally think not acting on immigration is a killer. It's a lot worse, in my opinion, than not acting on other things like dental care and Medicaid, which I think should pass, okay? But nobody's going to lose sleep over that. You elect not to help millions of people when you could have easily, with no cost to the government, no effective spending, and in fact, an increase in the monies brought into the government, then you're fools. So that's kind of where we are. I remain pessimistic about this because every time I've got my hopes up for the last 25 years since IRA in our campaign, fix 96. That was our campaign in 1997. Fix 96. 24 years on, fix 96 is still nothing. There's a lot of great bills out there. Senator Cortez Masto from Nevada has an extraordinary bill on fixing all of the IRA mistakes. I mean, it's fantastic. It'd be fantastic. It's all I can tell you. It'd be fantastic. I hope it passes, but I don't have a lot of hope for it. There is a bill to recoup visas. I don't think that's going to pass. In fact, Republicans are mounting an attack on that on Fox News. Oh, they're going to increase the visas. Yeah, because they haven't been increased since 1990. We have 100 million more people living in America. It's stupid not to increase visas. Everybody thinks it's all about tech. It's not about tech. It's like 40,000 jobs. That's a nothing burger. It's really about investment. It's about business. It's about growing. It's about employees. The anti-immigrants just can't get over themselves. Just amazing. So let's answer some questions today. We'll see how long we go. Rahel, Rahel comes every week and asks me the same question. Rahel, don't you think that if I knew the answer to this question, that I wouldn't tell you? That I wouldn't get on the rooftops and say, today's the day? I don't know. They have until September 30th, 2022 to issue the remaining Go visas. That's what I know. How they're going to do it, when they're going to do it, where they're going to do it, got nothing. They also have 60 days to appeal. So they're probably doing nothing. until they decide whether to appeal. And the appeal decision is made by a Biden appointee. So maybe you want to call the White House and ask the Biden administration not to freaking allow an appeal in this case. Huh? That would be a good use of your efforts. Diana Rosa, saludos, abogado, desde Cuba. Dios quiera, pronto tengamos buenas noticias sobre 2020. De tu boca a la oreja de Dios. Estamos mandando otra vez una moción al corte para clarificación de su orden sobre esto. Ronald, good to see you. Did government lawyers say about reappealing the order like behind the scenes? No, I haven't said anything. We just know that one statement in the Morrison case for Europe, they indicated they wanted to appeal the case, but they had to get permission from the Solicitor General. So maybe, and that's a Biden appointee. So maybe you want to call the White House and say, do not allow the Solicitor General to appeal this case. Is Diaz waiting to bill to pass? No, they're not. There's no DV bill that's going to pass. DV 2020 still out there. Don't know. All right. Sardash, Tahir, Ahmed, KCC working as previous as normal? I don't know. I don't have any DV 2022 clients, so I don't know what they're doing on that case. My guess is they don't do squat, but maybe some other DV 2020 people are watching, and they can share what's happened to them. I do know that one person's been interviewed. I know of one for sure. That's it, on October 1. Harish, what do you think? Win or lose? Only 31% for DV 2020 under visa. For me, it's a loss. What about the other services? Well, you're wrong about your numbers because you got your numbers screwed up, but that's okay. You're entitled to screw up your numbers. Plus, don't forget, there's a lot of numbers available to Europe in addition to that. And the reality is, Harish, we won. We absolutely won. We don't know who's going to get those visas, and we can't be the decider. We did what we could do. And that's where we are at this point. And we've talked that to death, and it shall not be talked more. And it's not worse than DV 2020, by the way. Hello, sir. In your point of view, the University of Plan C, I don't think so. I honestly, Fahim, I don't think so. I would love to be wrong. I'm wrong all the time, aren't I? I mean, you guys tell me I'm wrong all the time. I just don't see Plan C succeeding. I hope it does, because I think it would be better than nothing. It's better than what we have, which is nothing. But we'll see. We'll see. No, we'll see soon. Shrikant, good to see you. Allocate strictly by Friday. That's not true. That's not true. Well, it should be true, but they're not doing that. They clearly allocated to them whoever was ready by priority by the service centers or places they would go. They were not allocated by priority date. That is a lie perpetrated by USCIS, which, by the way, we made clear in our filing last night in a reply to the TRO in our 3 Texas cases. Why can't we, Department of State, allocate these to pending applicants? Yeah, there's no RO. There are no W. They're not, right? So Indians should be getting 140,000 visas in EB. They should be getting 140,000. That was part of our TRO, is that they're snowing the courts. And why are they closing the numbers? It makes no sense. When they told us, and I talked about this in our Facebook Live on Monday, they said, look, we think that 12,000 Indian EB3s will get green cards this year, and we have 85,000 EB3s from India that we have to do. I can't believe that's all they had. Now you have a 6-year wait. Again, people that are filed, that's unconscionable. But if you got 85 and you're sitting on 140,000 visas, why aren't you? It just literally makes no sense, and it gets my blood boiling, Shukrant. Hope the judge allows for oral argument. Un abrazo, Javier. Gracias. Charles, how are you? Good news. Not this week. See you next week. Might be better. Hopefully, Charles will do that. Hey, by the way, all of our Ks, just to let you know, we filed motions to dismiss of a lot of people, well over 100 plaintiffs in the cases combined. And the courts, I know Judge Maida already dismissed because we filed motions to dismiss because the motion gets in front of the judge. Oh, dismiss, and he dismissed them. Why won't Judge Maida rule on? He's the judge in our Russian K1s. Motion dismissed, So hopefully we'll get some movement there on our case. That's out there. Claudia Stewart, can I explain Oppenheimer regarding its impact on those visa notes as well? No. I cannot explain what Charlie's talking about because I have not seen Charlie's video. But I think they're just legally wrong. These I-140,000 visas have to go to India. They're the oldest cases. It's that simple. Will there be any situation for go processing along with good luck before fiscal year 2022? There is no race. I mean, they have their own separate visas allocated. Chris Viatura, are any change for El Salvador waiting for residents? No, Chris, there's been no changes whatsoever. And Sergio, is there any way of changing status with expired visa through work? No. Once your visa is expired, Sergio, you're SOL. Short of falling in love with a wonderful American citizen, you've got no real, or having a child over 21 who's a citizen, you really don't have any options. Now, if you expired less than 6 months ago, you should leave. And then you could come back through work, job, or investing. But short of that, there's really no other options. That's why you should never fall out of status. It's kind of important. Ernestina, buenas tardes, Ernestina. Ojalá que todo está bien. Hey, just to let everybody know, you can, of course, call for an appointment. We're here all the time. You can go online and make an appointment on our website. Our website's really easy. It's immigration.net. It's a pretty good website. And our website in Spanish, nuestro sitio web en español es inmigracion.net. Y si quiere una consulta, llama a este número. Ahí está. Llame a este número y estamos aquí para servir a usted, conmigo o con uno de nuestros abogados. We don't have any more questions today. This is a quick one today. So that's good. We'll be back. I'll be back next Wednesday en español. Voy a hacerlo en español el próximo miércoles. And we will hopefully maybe have news on some changes in the law. I'll also be back on Monday night with my friends at Impact Litigation with Aaron and Greg, talking immigration. And I pray for the people that we're fighting our TROs for, our Indian clients on EB3, that we can at least get some judges to grant TROs. Thank you, everybody. Till next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.